Whartson Hall presents.
Welcome, friends, to the future, 1955. As the spectre of war fades into history, mankind's boldest brainiacs are poised on the precipice of a golden epoch. The titanic force of the atom stands ready to transform the lives of all, from heroic captains of industry to the stabbiest hobo. But the atomic age brings perils as well as wonders. The mysterious power of radioactivity to transform not only polishes the windscreen of the future, but also wides down the side window to the world of the unexpected. Monstrous new creations to emboggle the brain of those unlucky enough to encounter them. The next 2 hours will unveil a cavalcade of terrors before your very eyes. Gasp in awe at the astonishing power of the atom. Shriek with terror at sights beyond mortal comprehension. Mutter with confusion at gaping plot holes and frugal special effects. Babble with fear at the monstrous entity awakened from its deadly slumber. We do not know what it is. We do not know what it desires. We only know one thing with terrifying certainty. It came from beneath the sea.
So, Shim, you're not familiar. Hello and welcome to Fish Bastards, as they called it in Yorkshire at the time. You're not really familiar with the genre, Shim.
As opposed to...
Yes, it's not All Vaginas Are Magic, the other supplement.
Really, Nick? That one's not fish-based?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was slightly thrown because I thought you said fish paste for a minute.
Not a good combination, I feel.
Oh dear, ways to dig yourself into an early grave, number one.
So this is 50s science fiction. The genre is really very pulpy. The characters are all kind of archetypes.
How many people have written this? Jesus.
Yeah, it's a very long...
Still, Eddie Webb's on there, he's good.
It's kind of pulp fiction, but flavoured with a degree of paranoia. This was the communist era, so it's heavily influenced by the McCarthy witch trials, or the...
not the part.
Mm-hmm. Not the part. So there's a lot of...
If anybody's got the link for the character sheet, that would be helpful.
I can give you that. It's
because I'm scrolling back madly, and
it's a bit adjacent to. I'll upload that to the drive so you can grab it. It's a bit adjacent to Illuminati as well, in the sense that a lot of the stories are just things are off and the characters are working out. But it's smaller than that in the sense it doesn't tend to be a huge government-wide conspiracy. It tends to be alien creatures from beyond the grave or sea or outer space.
They've landed in the Arizona desert or whatever.
Yeah, so it's that kind of... it's the kind of genre where you have science, exclamation mark, as a skill.
Seaman and Nevada all over again, basically.
I want to do that. It's also got a heavy mix of kind of teen rebellion, but it's often told more from these teens don't understand, they need to learn from the old stage.
What are you rebelling against? What do you got?
Yeah, but it's actually kind of predates that in the sense it's more on the side of the establishment than the teens.
Well, those teen movies always were on the side of the establishment. If you actually watch any of them,
true, yes.
It's noticeable that they were made by the establishment on the whole.
Yeah, but sometimes they at least pretend to be on the side of the...
Well, yeah, you can't be, completely anti. Well, I suppose reefer madness.
That'll be a good scenario for this.
It's not Cheech and Chong. Let me pop this in the list. So, classics of the genre would be The Thing from Another... your enemies are often pronouns in this. It, them, she, the thing.
Stroke. They.
Yeah, they them.
Oh dear, that really does get that sort of American paranoia of the far right, doesn't it? Your enemies are often pronouns.
They are different to you. But it's not cosmic horror. It's all ultimately defeatable by science! Exclamation mark. Generally, it's the kind of genre. Radiation won't kill you. You will grow an extra head, and ants that are radiated will become giant ants.
Regardless of any physical. Yeah, there's one, I think it's called the Magnetic Monster, which is brilliant because it's like the science in that involved is sort of mad, and really it doesn't actually work like that, but by God they carry it through with a convincing air. They actually do much better with that one than many of these things.
The acting style is actually quite similar to Airplane in that nobody is aware they're in an absolutely nonsense science fiction story. They are all absolute. Female characters tend to be... you do get strong female characters, but they are feisty, young scientists.
They get undermined by the plot at some point.
Yeah, they usually get a playful spanking from the white-collar hero.
Come along with me, darling. Yeah.
No matter how tough and resourceful they are, they will eventually run into the arms of the hero and sort of look over their shoulder.
Generally...
in fact, if you look at the front cover of Thomas Dolby's Aliens Ate My Buick album, which I recommend just looking up if you don't know it, that is very much what these things look like. It's a rather pitch-perfect parody.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, I see. Yes, that kind of pre-Indiana Jones kind of flash. There's exclamation marks in the title of the film, obviously. Generally. So let's have a go at character gen. The system is it's called based upon the story path system, which is based upon the White Wolf system, which some of you may be more familiar with. My experience of White Wolf is playing Vampire with a Power Gamer, and that was a miserable experience.
So was mine.
Yeah, it's funny. But I don't know that the system's fundamentally flawed. I think it might suit.
I played the live one with the Power Gamer.
Yeah, how was that? So
Pain in the arse.
I'm not sold on the underlying system, but I don't think it's fundamentally flawed. I mean, dice pool systems are.
I was going to say it is a dice pool. It's all right. I always found its biggest problem was they went on about how it was this storyteller system, and it was all it brought out all that side of things, but it doesn't really. It's a perfectly ordinary, and it kind of was at the time. I don't get it, but it's fine.
Thing that was so different, but it really wasn't. The big thing is they used dots. You can't say you've got 5 in a skill. You say I've got 5 dots. We'll go through it, but otherwise it's pretty much you've got standard attributes and standard skill. You do a skill to do a thing. You add a skill to a stat generally, and you roll all your dice. You've got to get 8, 9, or 10 for a success.
Okay.
And if you roll a 10, that counts as 2 successes.
When you say you roll all your dice, is the skill plus the stat the number of dice you roll?
The number of so you've got 3 stat, 3 skill. You roll 6 dice, and usually you're trying to roll 8, 9, 10. Most things you just need to get 1 success. Sometimes you need to get 2.
What flavour of dice are we rolling?
D10s.
D10s.
And if you roll no successes and a 1, that's a critical fail or a botch, as it's called in this system. And that's mostly what you need to know. So I guess an average roll is going to be like 5 dice, 4 to 5 dice. If you're better than that. So that's where you are, really.
Cool.
So this is a pulpy, genre-based system, so we deal in broad stereotypes, or at least archetype.
Painting with broad strokes.
Of which there are 5. They're not massively different. It's not as restrictive as classes. It just really funnels you down certain skill paths.
Okay.
So if I find Roger's very kind character creation because he
first thing is devise a character concept,
and it will because it's a points-based system. It really would be helpful to have an idea of the kind of character. So Roger, for instance, is playing an FBI agent, who thinks there's something up.
G-man.
So he's a G-man. Other archetypes, and you can share the same archetype, but it'd be nice if everyone was a different one for ease. There's the Everyman, and this is basically the wrong man at the wrong time, or the wrong person at the wrong time. I do take objection to at least two of these archetypes having the word man in them, but there we go. It is a 50s science fiction thing. So anyone who's basically not the sort of person who would be involved in this kind of fight, sportsman, doctor, janitor, anyone who's just doing their job and gets dragged
Secretary.
into it, and get a surprise. Yes, exactly. Secretary Bird, probably a bit of a stretch.
Tea lady. Tea person.
Coffee bird.
Coffee magnate.
Yeah, business person, cultist, that sort of thing. So, but the character who surprises everyone being quite competent at the thing, even though they're not supposed to be. The G-Man, which is, Men in Black, cops, that sort of thing. Mouth, typically a reporter. You could also, you want to get the story out there. So a detective, potentially, someone working for a corporation.
I see, right.
So you're interested in getting to the fact and getting those facts out to the people, like the Keep Watching the Skies guy in The Thing from Another World, or I think I said Hank McGee in The Incredible Hulk.
You mean Jack McGee?
No, I watched it when it was Hank McGee.
Don't make me angry.
You wouldn't like us when we're angry.
So they're, I suppose in D&D character class terms, they're more of a thief. I suppose they'll have that kind of investigative skill set. Generally,
I'm now wondering who Hank McGee is. If there's someone,
there probably is a Hank McGee somewhere.
I mean, there's Henry McGee.
There's Hank Marvin, who is a contemporary of these kind of things. Scientist is the fourth archetype. It's pretty obvious, really. Botanist, radiographer. There's not scientist, really. They're more of an imager.
That's harsh.
Radiation well, they're not. It's a radiologist that does that. They're very skilled photographer, basically. It's true. Radiologist is one who does the science bit. Anyone who ends in ist.
If you've got an ology, you're a scientist.
Yeah, but you're likely to be. Well, you can be whatever you like. Mad. You could be a mad scientist or any kind, but anyone who fits into that category, or a survivor, which is someone who's been through it before. It doesn't have to be a fish-based or outer space invasion. The last survivor, they typically loners who are forced to work with other people. So the last survivor of World War II platoon, a teen rebel, someone whose ship sank and he saw the fish and he was the last one. But they tend to be a hobo who's survived years on the street, that kind of thing. So, any thoughts on characters in that? It's 50s America. You're going to be on Hawaii. We may move off that if we do more.
So ukulele playing.
You can be a native Hawaiian. This is right after Hawaii becomes a state, I think. It was military occupation during the war.
Yes, that's right.
It was annexed well before that.
It was already
It was basically there was a coup by a load of businessmen. It was stolen by dull pineapples.
It was an economic coup, wasn't it? Really, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty disgraceful, really, particularly since America said, don't worry, nothing's going to happen. We'll definitely, we won't let them just run riot and do what they want. But when it actually happened, I think America went, it is rather a nice vacation spot. We could probably just roll it into the United States.
Thankfully, nothing similar happened to the Middle East after the First World War. Anyway, it is now a full-blown US state. I don't know the year. I think we're 1955. It isn't a full-blown US state because that was 1959, but it is
59.
Yeah, it's later than I thought. But it is on its way to being that, and is It's basically U.S. territory if it's not an actual
Right.
recognized state. Like, is it Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico and Guam.
Yeah, one of them.
On the other hand, it still has the British flag on its state on the state flag.
Maybe in this particular system we will have it as the American flag, but we'll see. So, any thoughts on character concepts?
Well, I'm going to go for scientist, if that's all right with everybody.
I feel a pipe smoking.
Absolutely. Tweed wearing, regardless of the fact we're on Hawaii.
Like that could take
Dr.
over.
Burgess Shale.
I mean, very good. I mean, if you're British, they're exactly the sort of person who would be a scientist because they're cleverer than everyone else in these sorts of films.
Of course.
Sadly, not in reality.
Oh, no, we are. We just hide it.
I did very well.
How about you, Mark?
Yeah. My intellect is under deep cover.
So I am still thinking. I'm thinking either everyman or survivalist.
Okay.
If I go survivalist, I will be a shark.
What?
As in,
I think
as
it's a
bold
survivor
move.
rather than...
as in the name of the street gang. That.
I was thinking like
an actual
Quint
shark.
sort of...
No. Yeah.
Does that mean you're going to break
Can I
into
just
synchronised
point out-
acid?
It's Quint, not Quince. Quint is a small.
I didn't say quince.
Small fruit. Okay.
I don't know. Well, certainly wasn't attempting to.
And slices of quince that the eight.
Dunstable spoons. Anyway,
enough.
Okay.
that's your option A. What's your option B?
I always hear Paul in the background going, "Stay on target."
Ah dear. Yes, it's to be fair. I am Tangent Man.
It's a good
option
one.
B is. I think so.
Tangent Man. The ability to direct whatever's happening completely off plot, so that there's a combat going on, but everyone then finds themselves just sort of chatting about something. Sorry,
Yeah.
what were we doing?
I like it.
Or,
I was supposed to
playing a little bit of ukulele, obviously in this case.
Strumming his little guitar. Sorry.
If you want to strum your little guitar, you're more than welcome to. Don't you let us stop you. So the other one would be the everyman, but obviously with the young teen, G. Willikers, and all that. Sort of
Okay,
jazz.
yeah, the kid.
So in other
Wow.
words, the annoying kid or the cool loner.
Marlon Brando or
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard. It's a tricky one.
So whichever you prefer, really.
Well, as long as you don't deliver your lines like Marlon Brando. Mind the oranges, Marlon.
Oh, wonderful.
Read DR in Quinch years.
Any thoughts, Jim, with that in mind?
So I'm just looking at the looking over at these. I don't feel like I can play a mouth. That
Too mouthy.
that seems difficult.
What, wanting to get the truth out there?
Yeah,
Taking risks to get the story.
yeah, that seems hard.
Kind of a
Going up against authority.
Going up against the man.
The G-Man. Girls, guns.
Yeah,
guns.
I don't really feel like I've got strong inspiration for
Okay.
that particular one. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I got fired as a journalist because I was told I had scruples.
Ooh, nasty. You can get cream for that.
Absolute mistake.
Potentially Survivor. You can always do the whole. My town was swept away by a sinister storm, but I'm pretty sure it's fishmen, or giant squid or whatever.
Yes.
I think I probably have a general instinct to go towards survivor.
Survival instinct, you might say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You go survivor. I will go everyman kid then.
All right. Cool. Well, let's try it. See how it gets on. Now, the first thing we need to do is aspirations. So,
Righto, Daddy-o.
in your aspirations on your character sheet, short, long, you need to think of things not that your character wants so much as what you want your character to do in the session.
Right, so where are we in the rule book here?
This is page 47.
47.
So, short-term aspirations are very achievable in a single session. A bit similar to the Warhammer ones, but even quicker than that. Like, for the scientist, it might be like, finish that research paper, make a breakthrough on my...
I like the examples. Punch an aquatic alien, get a cool new gadget, obtain more Valium, or taste test a sentient slime.
Yeah, I mean, you could be like, fail an experiment and laugh it off, something like that. Because that's not what your character wants, it's what you want your character to do as an interesting thing. The survivor could be... it could be like make friends with another group, or...
Blame everything on fish monsters.
Exactly. That's exactly the sort of thing you can do.
How about for me? Am I going to get a sarsaparilla?
Yes, but there's got to be some reason why that's tricky rather than you just start the game.
There's a sarsaparilla shortage in Hawaii. Gotta get your hands on some black market stuff.
So maybe it could be actually buy an alcoholic drink.
Ooh. Am I that sort of
hang
team,
on,
though?
I was going to say, you're the...
Golly
Or,
You're Ron Howard, aren't you? He wouldn't do
alternatively,
that.
catch some other teams buying an alcoholic drink and report them. Or something like that.
Snitch.
Get a good boy son from the town sheriff.
Get a paper round.
Get a paper round. Finally make your way past Old Man Williker's dog. That sort of thing.
Right,
I mean,
my first one I'm going to go with confront the close-minded authorities. So we have that scene where, you know, the G-men or whoever are very much, you know, this is either a natural disaster or whatever. And
I like that.
I shall be standing up for science.
Well, I'm going to go, and I agree. I think that's a really good one. So I'm going to deliver a paper
To the Royal Academy.
So deliver a paper to Old Man Willikers.
there you go. But he's got a vicious dog. for
Mr.
instance.
G. Willikers.
Now, I'll leave you thinking about that. We don't need to come up with them immediately, but we
Right.
need 3 of them by the end of the character generation session. So, next thing we need to...
So what was long one? That's more...
Long is a character arc, like
Okay.
finally marry Susie, or cure my genital herpes, or, you know. Hopefully that's not a kid's aspiration.
Well, we're going to find out that he's actually 47, but he always plays the kid on these, like the cast of Grease.
It's like your next character. It's how you should be at the end of the film. You know, if there's character progression, it's like, okay. I decide I was grumpy all along and I hate kids. Turns out I like kids, or something like that. Develop a friendship with a kid. That sounded weirder than I meant, but you know, like Alan Grant's journey in Jurassic Park.
Are we phones in houses? Are we at that point now?
Yeah. In the 50s, certainly.
Yeah.
Got Bakelite and everything.
Yeah. So I am thinking maybe as my second
Colour TV in the States.
second one might be to get Susie
Pregnant.
Perkins' phone number.
Oh, very good. That's a good short term one, yes. All right.
So essentially, you're going to go off, deliver a paper, flick through the phone book, and and just tick these off as we go before we get started.
Yep.
Yeah. There we go. Done. It's just a way to move along, but it gives you a framework to move your character along.
And can I have my long term one is obviously depending on whether I can get a phone number.
Pop your cherry.
To go steady with
Married?
with Susie Perkins.
Well, there we go. All right. Well, these are all fine ambitions for a thrusting young American child in the 50s. Now then, the next thing we've got to do is choose 3 paths. And paths are like little classes. They're going to determine what skills you're good at initially. So you've already picked one. That's your archetype path. So for your first path on the character sheet will be your archetype path of scientist or survivor or kid, everyman. And in the rule book, in those particular sections, because I can't see it shortlisted in the character gen, it might be, you will have number of skills. In fact, 4 skills. So with 4 skills on the character sheet, you want to write
Tag 4 skills
R,
with
A or AR. They are skills that you are associated with your archetype. They don't have to be the ones in the on the character in the path thing, but it would help. Or there's suggested ones that would be good.
Yeah.
But you can pick different, as long as you could justify this is part of my survivor path.
I'm going very much with what they suggested.
Right.
I would if I were you, but
just looking at the skills, just to kind of check. I notice we've got humanities, we've got empathy, enigmas,
yes.
integrity. Those strike me as 4 that you could perhaps misinterpret. What are their kind of...
Humanities is in the kind of the classical sense of these are sociology,
Right,
that kind of stuff.
So then in that case, empathy is going to be your actual sort of human empathy,
Yes.
dealing with people, is it? Yeah.
Enigmas is mysteries, crossword puzzles, escape rooms, logical puzzles, that kind of... you love mystery novels, you're good at solving quizzes, that sort of thing. Not general knowledge.
And integrity then, because integrity and empathy seem more like they ought to be attributes.
They are learned skills, however. There is, I can point you in the direction of the skill descriptions.
Yeah, okay, I think I'm mostly there.
Let's have a look. However, integrity is a tricky one. Integrity represents training and experience with being loyal, sticking to one's belief and moral code.
Beaten thoroughly every time you deviate from the path.
It does seem an odd way. They make it very clear it's a skill, don't they? But I agree with you. That's a tricky one.
Tag 4 skills with A.
And culture is, in the broader sense of artistic skills. Your knowledge of it, at least, rather than your ability in it, which would be possibly a different skill.
So this is the archetypes. We basically put an A by them, yeah?
Yes, or there is another path beginning with A, so you might want to put AR, but as long as you can distinguish them, and as long as I can distinguish them, that's fine.
Okay, so...
Oh, it's just I'm looking at Roger's thing. It says tag 4 skills with A, and the next thing, tag 4 and tag skills with O.
Okay, he's done it. He's taken a different path, but that's fine.
Right.
It makes
Okay.
sense. Okay. Next.
He does the other one AM ambition path.
Okay. Now you. Well, let's do it as we go along.
Hang on. Sorry, I'm just working through the skills at the moment. Sorry,
because
a little bit slow.
I'm having to choose slightly different ones to the ones that they suggest.
Well, that's why it's good to have your concept in mind when you're doing this.
Yeah. So for example, I've gone athletics as number 1 because I'm a high school kid who's actively. Let's say I play baseball. I play a little bit of. I'm the 3rd string quarterback for my team.
Is it a string quarterback? Is that like a string quartet?
String quartet.
Indeed, yes, something very similar. And one time in Bandcamp.
Oh God, no! Please no. That wouldn't be in a 50s sci-fi.
Oh, I don't know.
And when you've chosen them, you get 3 dots to distribute between those 4 things. Now, to give you an idea of what sort of skill level, in the skill descriptions, it gives you an idea of what sort of ability level you are for that skill.
Now,
And it does it for each skill, actually.
Right, sorry, you're running ahead for me.
Yeah.
I'm a little. I've
That's
got to
right,
apologise,
I'll
but
come back.
I'm not having a great day.
You are doing fine, John.
So, well, I've managed to get out of the chair, which is more I could do for half the day. So there aren't.
Take that as a win.
Right, the 4 skills you choose to do with, they're up to you. Okay,
Yes.
you just want them to be associated, sort of in my mind. That's fine.
Yeah.
So let's get that. That's good.
I would suggest science as as one of yours, John.
Well, it's not necessary.
And it is a very broad science.
Yes.
Ideally, when you make it, you justify it to your type of science, but it will be fairly loose interpretation. There's only
has
like
a pretty
16 skills.
loose. Yeah. Okay, so then the next one we do the origin.
Well,
path.
I think as we go, we might as well do the dots now. You get 3 dots to put in those 4 skills. So 1 in 3 of them, or 3 in 1.
Right. So the way Roger's written it's ambiguous.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's you just fill in 3 dots. That's not many at all, is it? Right.
So, Nick, you were saying about skill levels. Having played a White Wolf game,
Yes.
do you think these descriptions of the dots are in any way connected to reality?
No, for the love of God, no.
Because the ones in White Wolf very much do not actually represent what your in-character abilities will be when you try and roll on them.
To give you an idea, for an average skill roll, if you're rolling 5 dice, you're going to succeed about 3/4 of the time.
You have played with those, yeah?
In fact, Roger gave me a little sheet of probabilities, but on average, in fact, it may be more like 90.
Is that customized for this group?
You'll do all right.
But it means
So
even
3.
Sorry,
Some skills are harder than that. Sorry. Well, let me give you an idea of probabilities, because Roger did.
Well, I was just
very
thinking because
kindly
obviously
send me.
we're not starting with all of our skills, are we? In that we've only got 3 dots to fill in.
Well, exactly. Yeah. They're just ones that. To give you an idea, mechanistically, when you get injured, you get better at all your tagged skills. Because you get more desperate. So even if you haven't got
So
dots
if you were to hit yourself, if you were to sit in a hospital and periodically stab yourself in the leg.
Now you're thinking like a power game, right? That's not how we do things.
It's not power gaming. If you're just doing what the rules say. Okay, I've put 2 of my. Why is this so difficult?
John, just to warn you, I have put my so I've gone for athletics, empathy. I'm a goodie. Technology. At the end of the day, I'm a kid. I understand tech. And I've gone for number 4 because I have won the I have won the science competition in school 2 years running, and my personal hero is John's character.
Is there a thing for personal sort of quirks and so on?
We'll come to that.
Loathings might be a heading, I don't know.
You can do reputations for the other characters. Just let me give you some idea of probabilities. If you got 3 dots in a skill, you're going to succeed at most tasks, a normal task, about 65% of the time. If you've got 5 dots in a skill, it's going to be like 85% of the time.
But obviously you can't get that to start with.
Well, sorry, by 3 dots, I mean add your stats and your skill together. That's what you're going to be rolling. So 1 is still a significant uptick.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
not bad.
So I've got the archetype path then.
In general, the more successes you get, the more you can basically do more things, and you can alter your success. So you'll succeed, but just. This is the point where Roger would note that down on his little sheet. You still with us, John? Just about. Oh dear me.
Oh, John, I send you a manly hug down the airways because trust me, you definitely need it, mate.
The chest infection's quite rough, but on top of long COVID, I've got no reserves left at all.
Yeah.
No, I can imagine. I'm impressed that you're actually here.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, well done.
yeah.
Well,
trust me. Trust me. We can we take the win. We definitely take the win.
Okay, so sorry, origin path.
right.
What's your
So have we all
background?
done archetype paths?
Well,
So
I've got
the next path, we're going to do 3 paths in total. The next one is your origin, your background.
Okay.
You can make your own, but let's just pick from the options.
where am I looking for that?
I'm just whizzing through the rules quickly to get to that bit. What you said?
They might have a table of contents.
Yeah, that's to losers. So origin paths will be on page.
56?
Yes, that sounds right because I'm on 55, but I'm
Loser.
becoming a glit. So the origin paths, for instance, adventurer, life of privilege, military brat, outdoors enthusiast, street rat, suburbia. They're the ones we've got, so I'd probably suggest choosing from them.
Actually, yeah. Military brat might not be too. I mean, there is a.
You're not making any friends here. You do know that, don't you?
And basically, you're going to do the same again with that. Pick 4 skills associated with your origin, or just take the ones off the list, and put an O next to them.
Does it matter if I choose the same skill twice?
No, just means you get more skills. It means it's a bit less. It's more useful for different ones for your character in the sense that when you get injured, they'll all go up, and you'll have fewer that go up, but they'll be up more in general. It doesn't matter mechanically at all, and in fact, you'll have a higher skill generally. So you'll be more focused, but narrower, like a laser beam Ron Howard. While we all contemplate that image.
Okay, so the skills that are listed with these things
Yeah.
are examples, or
They're
are they
the
what you get?
suggested ones, but if you want to swap
Yeah.
some out, it's,
All right, well, I
as
think
long as
I'm
you
going to
can
go
explain
for
it with your origin.
Suburbia for the path, because that's probably the closest.
But there's no these aren't
Comfortable,
hard-
but not super privileged.
Yeah, they're not hard limits.
No, I think Burgess would believe in, in getting things back to the status quo, the normality, that sort of stuff.
Yes, sounds good. But again, they're just suggested skills. The trademarks are things you have to pick. But
Oh, okay. Do we do that
we'll
later? or
do
we
that
pick them?
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Culture, empathy, humanities, technology. Right.
And then same again, 3 dots to spread amongst those 4 skills. However you like, there's no limit. It can be 3 in 1, 1 in 3.
I'm going to swap technology for medicine, if that's all right.
Yeah, that certainly works as a military. Maybe you're...
Yeah, basically, let's say I'm, my mum was the base nurse or something like that.
You hug around in the nurse's office. getting favours. I understand. I will just get a neck oil while you contemplate that. The final one is, and it's listed right after the origin, is ambition. So this is a bit harder. It's more your way of life. Ambition, I'm not sure is the best name for it, but basically a bit like the way you live your life. In love, family man, out for revenge, lone wolf, community leader. They're how you sort of feel about yourself when you're not at work.
I'm still looking at origins.
I'm only saying that so I can get a beer while you continue.
Right, so these have got to be different from the archetype skills then.
I think you can overlap.
I think I'm gonna go.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking at Roger's checklist. He says tag 4 untagged skills with and then ambition is the same thing. So I'm taking it that it says here somewhere that you're not doubling up on skills.
Ooh, am I going to be a clean young man?
Red-headed and freckled.
Red-headed, freckled.
A younger version of yourself. No doubt.
Basically, yes, indeed. This is
Not much younger, even.
Oh, indeed. There is still some red in my beard. Not very much on my head. There's still some in my beard.
You had
right.
ketchup with your dinner, did you?
Nick, I think.
These are eminently make-upable, so it's not hard to do. So if you just want to think of a different one, think of 4 skills, and then we can come up with some trademarks later on.
Nick, I might go for outdoors enthusiast.
Okie doke, sounds good.
So.
Yeah, again, you can change the name of it if you don't like. You could just be outdoorsy.
It's fine. It's fine.
Or enthusiastic.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
I'll be...
Right, I think I'm done on assigning those. So that's the origin path done.
And then the last one is a bit broader, as I say. It's an ambition, but it's really... as I say, how you live your life. Well, the options are best friend, community leader, family man, in love, lone wolf, out for revenge. Don't sound necessarily like ambitions to me.
No.
But so I don't think it's the best name. But it's, what motivates your character?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's got to be out for revenge because he's a scientist who's been involved in academia.
Exactly. Again, they're all make-upable. If you'd rather just make up another one, doesn't matter. Just give it a name.
I must admit, I like the best friends purely and simply because I look at the skills and it's close combat, culture, lastly, and pilot. What? Oh dear. I think. Yeah, let's go. In fact, I actually want to go best friends. So
I think the idea is more that you have a lot of hobbies and hobby groups, and you, like you're in a judo club, you're in a larceny club, you know, that sort of thing.
Actually, Out for Revenge does seem a bit more driven to that one end than I think he ought to be, really.
Well, I suppose if you're academic revenge, then it could be similar, but you have
I'm
slightly
not sure
different skills there.
I'm not sure he's looking to, connect with criminal organisations and do anything at all to achieve his goals.
These are you could be like social climber, like academic climber, and then pick some skills like empathy, persuasion.
Yeah, I'll go for Out for Revenge.
Yeah, again, you could call it something different and explain it's a different thing.
Mark, are you going for? You
we've
get
got
some
dots
larceny
for the paths. What does that mean?
You've got what in what?
Well, the actual paths have dots, don't they? Archetype, origin, and
Yeah,
ambition.
that's to do with experience points. Don't worry about that
Oh,
for the minute.
right, okay. Tag 4 untag skills with AM. Right.
Any ideas, Sim?
I think I'm still not sure about a name, but I think it's in general. It's about understanding what actually happened to my town and being able to prove it
Right.
to the authorities or whoever.
Get the word out there, or find those fish! Exclamation mark. Something
Kind
like
of.
that.
Those fish bastards took my
So
town.
I guess that might be science, persuasion, enigmas.
Yeah, so I've gone for enigmas and persuasion, empathy, because that also seems to get used for persuasion. And I'm not sure about the last one. Do you think it's more of sciencey, or do you think it's more of a humanities-y?
Well, humanities is the study of humanities, so
maybe
I think
not.
you'd probably go more science in that sense, in that you want to understand the physical reality
that makes sense
of
to
it,
me.
rather than the what people have written about.
What was
you
that
could
strange
be searching
slime?
amongst the classics to see if there's any history. Would be in the humanities.
Aristotle tells us that in this situation...
This Latin record of a Roman town destroyed by strange slime from out of the sea.
Exactly.
This is
so
just like Cicero.
Actually, you
He
two...
was killed by a fish bastard.
You two have both got science, haven't you?
Well, I'm a scientist.
I'll go humanities.
I have a box in science.
I'll go humanities.
humanities. Or technology, potentially.
I already got that.
You might have that from elsewhere.
I've not got it very well, but I've got it down.
I've got a box. I've got a box in tech as well.
I haven't got anything. You see, when you said you've got a box in science, I'm just thinking you're going to walk along with a box under his arm that's like a junior experiment kit with the chemicals and a bit of radium, and it does fun experiments.
No, not like that.
Now that is starting to sound like me as a kid.
Well, you can get the radioactive ones at this point.
Yep.
They don't sell them anymore, tragically.
Sadly enough. Right, we've already done the next bit, unless you haven't. Add 3 dots to spread amongst those skills.
Yep, I think
Now
that's
you've
what
done
I've
all
just
those things,
done.
you get 6 more dots to put anywhere you like.
So,
Does that include ones you haven't?
Yes. Any that you have or haven't tagged.
got one more I want to basically stick it.
No, Roger hasn't actually included that.
I think it is on his sheet, but if it isn't, you do
No,
anyway.
I don't think it is. The next one on his is the attributes, and it says add 6 dots to the highest, 4 to the second.
Let me double check I haven't
I'm
misread.
not quite sure what's going on there.
I don't think I've misread though. Okay.
No,
So
I
we've got 6,
also
so add
spotted
6 more
that.
dots for anywhere.
Yeah. So it's page 49. Most of the character skills come from their paths, but you also get 6 additional dots to distribute amongst any of the skills.
Yes.
So the total number of
They
skills
don't
you
have to be
retrieve.
tied to paths in anyway.
Yeah, total number of
So
skill
that-
dots you
so it
retrieve is
needs to amend
15.
that then.
Yeah, 9 from your paths,
Yeah.
6 from everywhere else.
Right, that's fine then. So they can be on things that we've actually not got tagged in at all.
Yes, absolutely. Doesn't matter. The tagging is for when you get injured and for going up levels, which is a bit vague. I mean, we don't have to worry too much about it. I think it's slightly cheaper within your paths, but it's not a huge issue.
Has anybody got medicine other than me?
I've got a dot.
I haven't got a dot, but I have got it down.
We should be right then. He says, unjustifiably.
So that's 3.
Roger's very efficient with his writing, isn't he? But sometimes, as mere humans, he perhaps a little bit more. I think it's good as a summary sheet.
I think he may have missed the bit about adding in the points to the skill. I think that next one.
I might have a later version. I think he has put it in. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You do anyway. And then we're not massively far. We're over halfway, which is good to know.
I enjoy the thing if you compare the notes that Roger has for writing a scenario, which he gave to me, and the scenario after I've had a go at it.
Are they different beasts, Shinblade?
Orders of magnitude may be involved, yes. I think
do not
a
surprise
paragraph, a tightly contained paragraph. And yeah, I mean you've seen my scenarios.
And War and
You
Peace.
see, my entire notes and outline for a scenario, I'll turn up and I'll just have something with me that'll say like radioactive Welshman ? And that I'll just go from there.
You'll work it out from there.
So I'll have some idea,
All right, how are we doing for those 6 dots? Still working?
I've got just one to waste.
I
now.
am dotted, thoroughly dotted.
Am I going to go down the Whartson?
Do it.
Don't do it, Billy.
Surely you've
Not
got
like
too much
those
integrity
kids
for
down the
that.
road.
Maybe he's just really good at Meccano.
And to be fair, I actually have got a boxing integrity, so perhaps I should.
Well, it doesn't mean it takes a thief to catch it. I can read you the larceny skill. Covers a multitude of sins. Oh. From sleight of hand and distraction for slashing a backpack or removing a wallet from a man's pocket to getting past sophisticated security systems.
I think
these are all things that a trustworthy lad from the Andy Griffith Show would be doing, aren't they?
Yeah. So I have actually gone down.
Pride of memory.
Gone down and put under the boxing medicine instead.
Very good, Billy. I'm calling you Billy in my head at least. Right, attributes. So these are your, as you know, strength, dex, that sort of thing. Except in this system,
you know, Bob.
they are, as you can see, for intellect, might. So there's the 3. That's right. There's the 3 physical ones: might, dexterity, stamina. There's the mental ones: intellect, cunning, and resolve. And the social ones: present, manipulation, composure. This is a sort of grid because you notice along the top it says force. So that's just, you tend to use brute force whatever attribute you're using. So if that's your mental, brute force, it's intellect. If it's your physical, it's might. It's just the way you approach things. You either force your way through, not physically necessarily, but it's not subtle. Or you use your finesse, which would be cunning, dexterity, or manipulation. Or you use your resilience, which is more of a resolve, stamina, composure thing. You're more taciturn about it. So that's just to explain the slight grid there. Okay, you. Now, so in this case we're going across the top, so physical, mental, social. Pick which one is your most important, second most important, and least most important.
Physical, mental.
So left is mental, middle is physical, and right is social. And this will determine how many dots you get in each one. They all start in 1, which it should on that character sheet.
Yes, they do.
And then for your primary, for your mental, for instance, for Burgess, presumably, you get 6 dots. For your secondary, you get 4 dots. And for your tertiary, 2 dots. So 6, 4, 2.
What's the difference between resolve and composure here?
So resolve.
Or indeed presence. I mean, this in.
So presence is like your pow. When you walk in a room, it's your raw charisma.
Oh, yeah, like making a presence attack. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas composure is your sanity. How shaken you're gonna get if something happens.
How many did you say it was for the tertiary one?
6, 4, 2.
Yeah, resolve, character strength of will, resistance to psychological trickery, emotional stress, very focused and organised. You can ignore distractions and hard to exploit.
So a bit more like single-minded, in a way. I admit, resolve and composure are similar.
Let's have a quick look at.
Okay, so and then it's 6, 4, and 2.
So look. Presence. Yeah, presence getting other people to obey orders, influencing people.
Yeah, so pop
Composure.
stars, generals.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The resolve composure is resist
it's a bit
manipulation, maintain a cool facade, recognize deceit. I suppose you can think of it more
grey, isn't it?
like
I feel
outwards
composure's
composure.
more of your facade, like you're terrified inside, but you'd still, you'd stub your cigarette out before you start. That sort of thing.
Like reading the room.
Yeah. The Fonz has high composure, whereas I don't know, Judge Dredd has high resolve.
Yeah, Fonz has probably got high everything is the problem.
Hey.
Because he doesn't follow the same rules. And then it's 4 on your second one, wasn't it?
You can't go above, if you hadn't guessed, you can't go above 5.
Okay.
I have gone for the physical one as my primary, the intelligent one as my secondary, and the social one as my.
An annoying teen with social is his lowest skill.
Where's manipulation? What's that?
That's getting other people, manipulating other people, basically. Machiavellian
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, predicting what another creature will do, posing as someone else or a member of another species, and lying convincingly.
I'm a dog. Ruff, ruff, ruff. It's that sort of thing.
Sausages.
Got it.
So I've actually ended up going for the same pattern as Mark.
Well, that's fine.
So,
There's only a few possible patterns.
Yeah, so I've gone for the
Surely intellect is your primary one, Professor.
yes, followed by social and then physical.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he does, in fact, he walks with a cane. So didn't figure physical is going to be the front
Well,
runner.
that might be.
so to
I mean,
speak.
that might. You are going to get. There are a few similar to Fate. My dad was a leopard. You're going to get the kind of tags that you can apply to skills.
Okay.
But that's how we finish up, basically.
All right.
All right. When you've done the attributes, pick which is your favoured approach. By which I mean, whether it's physical, mental, or social. Do you prefer to finesse your way through it? Do you force your way through it, or are you kind of taciturn and just get through it that way? Force, finesse, or resilience?
I can see actually with the boxes that I've chosen. So do you actually put numbers here?
Well, tick one of the boxes. That's your preferred approach, and then you will get one extra dot in everything along that line. If that,
To a maximum of 5.
if you never lose a dot. If you get an extra one, you pick another one within the physical sphere or the mental sphere. So you pick another one in the up-downy bit.
Yeah, same column.
If
Okay,
that
well,
makes sense.
that does take my dexterity to 5.
Goodness me.
My stamina is now
As
5.
it does with my resolve.
And my stamina is 5. So,
Very good.
So,
And then you get one lashed dot, just to round you up in case there's something you feel you're lacking in your concept.
Does quite a lot, yes.
where does that dot go? Anywhere?
Physical. Sorry, in the attributes, not the skill.
yeah.
As the the system says, so your character isn't, so she isn't a complete bumbling idiot. So that's nice for you.
Mine is a complete
Yes,
bumbling
that's
idiot.
good of them.
So,
Intellect or presence?
well, I've got intellect 1.
I've got intellect 2, presence 2, might 2. And I'd like to put one of those up to 3.
Hanging around with the mental giants, I see.
Intellect 3, I feel. There we are. However, my cunning is 4.
My job is to say things like, "Get away from that door! You don't know what you're dealing with."
Hey, mister, I have a cunning plan.
Well, this is the sort of thing we'll come on to next. If we've all done that, trademarks. So trademarks are your signature move. So you're going to tie them to a skill or an attribute. So it would be, the examples given here are mind like a calculator, linked to intellect, swims like a fish, linked to athletics. When you're doing your trademark, which you can only do once per game, once per scenario, so it's not often you do it, you get 2 extra dice. So there will be ones associated with your archetype and ones associated with your paths, and you get 4 of them, 2 from your archetype and then 1 from each other. There's suggestions there, but you can make up your own, like walks with a cane. You use this as a positive thing. You could just reference it, like...
You've got a cane all the time.
Yeah, you could reference it as your... you could tie that to your stamina, for instance. Okay, well, I'm not going to fall over with this earthquake. I walk with a cane, for instance. But there's suggested ones there, but they're eminently make-upable.
Right.
It's just like Fate.
Let's have a look where the...
So these are trademarks, not tropes,
are.
which I find confusing. So they will be on
Skills,
your...
that's page 54.
Yeah, there's a list of them on the archetype pages, but they're all together, around about.
Right, not on 54.
Now, there's no
it turns
further
out.
description of them.
Oh, really? That's what I was looking for, because some of the ones that they've got there seem a bit like they need further description.
It's just like in Fate, you're going to say, well, I have grit and determination linked to my strength, so I'm just going to keep doing this till it's done. You can only do it once per scenario. You'll get 2 extra dice. If you succeed on that skill, you'll get super bonuses, but we'll worry about that later. Like, our kid here could have honesty as the best dot policy linked to his integrity. Something like that. So if he's
to be fair, he's only got 1 box in integrity. He's like...
Well, again, but it doesn't have to be that. So 2 from your archetype, and then 1 from your origin and 1 from your ambition. They're all suggestions, but as long as you can vaguely link it back, it's fine. And to be honest, I'm not that fussy. If you want to just come up with one that just fits your character concept instead, and just link it to a skill or an attribute, doesn't matter which one, then that's fine. I'm not desperately bothered if you stray from the path, so to speak.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go for still carries that bullet from Normandy Beach, which is why he walks with a limp.
Good.
Because it's in his pocket. Prods him. No, he actually has been shot in the leg.
Again, just like Fate, just justify it to me why you're getting those extra 2 dice related to this. And then, aside from tropes and quips, we're done.
Okay.
How about...
for ambition.
I've never been with a fish before. Link to persuade.
Perhaps not.
Okay.
I was going to say starting pitcher for his
Athletic?
for his little league team.
Yeah.
Linked to dexterity.
Yeah, that's fine. Perfect.
So that goes under...
Let me look at the character sheet, which I'm not looking at. These are trademarks. So under trademarks, write the name and then in brackets what you're linking it to. Or after a dash, or even an ellipsis or a colon. Just no fucking semicolons.
Do you want it to be dexterity or athletics?
It's up to you, Mark. You only get to use it once, so...
I'm going to say probably it's more athletics. It's
It
probably
sounds more
the
like
actual sport.
athletics.
Also, dexterity is an attribute.
You can link it to attributes. That's fine. So either one of those doesn't matter. It's not overpowering it particularly. I suppose an attribute's broader, but
Not that much, to be honest. Yeah.
not desperately. So I wouldn't worry too much.
Okay, so I've gone for put a sock in it, and this isn't going to happen again from my archetype.
Very good.
Origin.
Oh, so you need one from each.
So it's
2 from your archetype,
Yeah.
1 from your other 2.
Okay, so
You should have 4. Again,
Okay,
if
Oh, hang on. Right, now again, Roger's got 1 from Origin, 1 from Ambition. Oh, and then 2.
2
No, you're
from
right. 2 from Archetype. Sorry, I
but
beg
it's
your
not
pardon.
it's not hard and fast. If you have one that you really feel suits your character that doesn't fit any of those, just stick it in. But there is a summary on page 55 of the archetype ones.
okay, that might be worth a little peruse of 55.
Yes, for some reason my 55 flashes on and off, which is very annoying. All the other pages are fine, but that one doesn't behave. And then it's immediately followed by the origin and ambition paths. Also, you know, this if you play it and you're like, actually, I wish I'd done that, you can change it. It's fine.
Loaf in the oven.
I'm sorry?
Is that an everyman one?
It is indeed.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So get your bun in the oven here.
Get off my land.
Get off my land.
You wouldn't hit a kid. Kind of thing.
Don't know me very well, do you? I have 2 words for you, child. Preferential target.
How about budding scientist?
Oh, I like that one. Yep.
Although it does sound like his breasts are developing.
Developing breasts linked to presents. That would be a fine.
And let us link it to science.
Crazily.
So I now need. So that's my kind of 2 for being a kid.
Yep. And what are you, military brat? So
That's a good one.
I'm the Juggernaut. Possibly doesn't suit the kind of character you're playing. Talent for destruction. La Resistance. Yeah, the military brat ones are less effective for you. But again, any you can come up with, like.
My trademarks have a lot of exclamation marks.
That's exactly the sort of trademark.
Archetypes, origin, ambition. So one of their examples is omnidisciplinary master.
That seems a little.
out for
That
revenge.
seems quite
like you could use this in any
any
situation.
situation. Yeah,
Does a bit, doesn't it?
Polymath, I suppose. Might as well say. Well, you can use it. I mean, again, it's just a way of linking it. You'd have to link it to something.
How about for a trademark for me? Mom showed me how to,
Yes.
and tied to medicine.
Very good. Given the appropriate dialogue. Ma'am showed me how to perform an appendectomy. Hold still,
Oh,
sir.
that's a really weird physical adaptation, isn't it? Gun nuts.
Ooh.
Now we're not playing Strontium Dog.
I've seen a film a bit like that.
I played Strontium Dog at StabCon, and I was Wolf Sternhammer, and I did a very good Wolf Sternhammer voice.
Yes, including calling people
Old
my
cucumber.
old cucumber.
Exactly.
Maybe it's a
Put the
sequel
sock in
to
it, old
Teeth.
cucumber.
The happy stick.
Yes, exactly. I was playing with my
Fabulous.
Oh,
It was
as long as
really
you
good
hit-
fun, actually.
As long as you hit people with your happy stick, that's all that matters.
Well, we were on teaching kids how to we were on a careers day teaching kids how to be Strontium Dogs. It was really good fun.
Was your
Mitch-
friend the
Mitch, you are
Gronk
happy stick.
involved?
Gronk wasn't involved. I was horrified looking at my character sheet. That wolf's furry outfit is Gronk's skin. I had never realised that in.
Oh, well, do you not know the backstory?
I
He wears
must
it in
have
honour of
somewhere.
the Gronk.
Yeah, you're right.
The
Now I
first Gronk. Because
I had
they're all
forgot-
called Gronk.
Yes, that's right. Roger was Midden-Face McNulty, which was quite good.
Oh, I love it.
That was a,
The,
it was a really good game, actually.
the Simon Pegg audio
Oh, I haven't listened
thing.
to
Oh, the Big Finish did 2 of them.
it. I knew they had.
And Midden Face is in. There's just this bit towards the end of one where they're basically at the bar, and you just hear Midden Face go, "Ah, you spilled my pint," and then pint spiller, and mayhem ensues.
It was a childhood ambition to play. Someone else playing Johnny Alpha. Johnny was not up to it. It's tricky though because Johnny's a bit of a Mary Sue character.
He's
so he's good at everything.
Yeah, but he's also. You've got much more to grab hold of for playing the characteristics of somebody like Wolf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, he's right there.
Viking, yeah.
Regardless of the fact that Johnny's dead good at everything, he is a bit the man with no name.
Yeah, he is.
Taciturn.
Less fun.
Yeah.
It was a really
Very
good
much so.
session. Very good fun.
Good.
Okay, how are we
Steve,
doing for
one more
trademarks?
trademark.
I need-
Still got-
Just trying to work out my one for best friend.
I need one for ambition because I kind of accidentally made up my own ambition.
That's fine. What was your ambition?
Something along the lines of prove it to the world.
All right. Well, it could be.
That's the whole kind of gather
I'm
the
telling you
proof
the
of-
truth! Exclamation mark linked to presence or something like that,
Mm.
or manipulation, or linked to persuasion. God damn it! It's true! Exclamation mark.
Ooh. Ooh. Just have a quick look at these skills.
I ain't never done that with a pig, sir. Linked to integrity, for instance.
I am tempted to go. I'm going to ignore
Fair
that.
enough, say no more.
No, I am tempted to go for punch the jalopy. And
Oh, is that a bit of a Fonz thing, like hitting the
to
jukebox?
to go
Oh, sweet, huh?
to add to my pilot.
Oh right, is that the equivalent of have you tried turning it off and on again? Quite
I
strange.
I was
Right.
thinking it's a thump the jukebox kind of thing,
Yeah,
get it
yeah.
working.
Similar idea, yeah. There isn't really pilot is also fixing as well as piloting.
Yeah,
I
I might.
think.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to take a step back away from pilot. Could I go for something similarish against dexterity?
Yeah, it'd be something like there's a knack to it.
How
you know.
about slide to fourth base? Slide into fourth base.
Is
I like it.
a link to persuade? I don't-
Ah, dear.
Wow.
I was
is
gonna
it,
say
is it
links
hot
to-
in here?
But links to dexterity. So
Yeah, it could be
slide.
home. Why about home run or yeah?
I
something
think you've
like
got
that.
to use slide into fourth base.
Oh, God.
It's required now.
How old is this kid again? Because I'm picturing him being about
He's
12.
37.
He's 12 going on about 18. So slide into
Like
fourth
a
base.
lot of 12-year-olds,
And I'm gonna-
most of what he thinks about is
Mm.
sliding into fourth base.
Yeah, I was listening to a Retrospectors podcast this morning about Hypercolor. I don't know if you remember Hypercolor T-shirts.
Oh yeah,
It was
God.
colour reactive pigment, and
Yeah.
so basically, they're giving it to a load of 12-year-olds, and the main way that these things react, apart from the sweat,
Yeah.
and apparently they made tights and shorts out of this,
Yeah.
was when you touch them. And one of the guys who presents the show had in fact had a Hypercolor T-shirt when he was 12, because they're obviously quite young. And he said it was fantastic because you'd suddenly feel like a hand on your back. He says, I'd basically got an item of clothing that encouraged girls to want to touch me. It was the greatest thing ever.
Oh, God.
Well, they never had that when I was allowed.
Not at all problematic.
Uh,
I remember
had
the summer
something-
when they came out, and
We had
Especially the-
something weird where it wasn't like that, but there was kind of like a plastic area that you could put your
I
hand
don't,
on.
I don't want to hear about your plastic area.
And
All
it
right.
changed colour. But
Shall we move on from trademarks
Just writing up my last one. Yeah.
to relationships? We'll skip over. Don't worry about those. Tropes. So tropes are basically little special bonuses for your character that give you when you're doing a thing, you might re-roll a thing. I'll give you some examples, but they are yet another of the special abilities that characters in this game get. You get 3 of them, 2 from your archetype list, and 1 from a different archetype, which is a pain in the bum.
Okay. So you get. Let's have a look here.
So the easiest thing is to go to the double page spread with your picture. That's where the tropes are listed.
They're on page 60, aren't they?
Yeah, 60 is where the
Are they,
actual list
are they
of them.
properly
They're all there.
explained as all there?
No, they're not. explained.
No, but
Well, that's the thing. You see, these ones give you specific things. So I'd have a look at your actual archetype sheet.
Yeah.
For the scientist, atomic power, you have a single nuclear powered item. When used in combat, it has the deadly tag, which don't worry about, but it's better. So it could be atomic binoculars. Once you've defined it, that's what you've got. But it's indefined until you define it. So they're basically little special powers your character has. Disturbingly, I don't know if that's a typo or not, but on the scientist on page 38, one of them is at the bottom, with my bare hands. It sounds like an experiment.
with my bare hands.
Yes, but it's actually written as the hands of a literal bear. I don't think it's meant to say
Nick,
Yes.
flick forward to page 42.
Does it still say it? With my bare... Yes, exactly.
Notice it has different
is it?
text.
Yeah,
Is it a
that's a
joke?
different one.
Different
Is it a
text,
joke?
different rules.
All right. You've literally got the hands of a bear if you pick that
Well,
one.
I'm looking at the on the scientist tropes on page 60, it is spelt as bare hands. So yeah,
As in
it's spelt the
naked.
same way.
As in
Okay,
naked.
all right. It's
BAR.
not
So
a
I think that's quite deliberate.
I don't really know.
Well, it's also with my bare hands. It sounds like an experiment gone wrong.
Yeah, okay, yeah. In your world, everything is all right. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what that literally means.
No, that's very badly. But basically, you've got an extra die on
You've
might
got
related
big
stuff.
hands. You're the opposite of Donald Trump. In-hand related things. I suggest you don't make these up because they are more complicated.
Yeah.
Can I change? Yeah, I kind of want to change some of the names for this.
Oh yeah, you can
because-
change the name of things.
Yeah, so for example, grit and determination, you never knowing whether things stop you. That kind of that kind of fits anywhere. I think so. I might just
Like, I don't know. You're gonna, as a kid, change it for like, I don't know, desperate for a wank.
No, I was just going to say grit. So if you read grit and determination, I learnt this in high school.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever you want to call it, that's fine. As long as you make, I know what it is. You have to tell me.
I learnt this in elementary school.
And this is a trope, isn't it? Yeah. So
This is a trope, and these are, you use these whenever. That's really good. Roll 1 extra die that on actions that are outside your archetype. That basically is jack of all trades, isn't it? It's all right. That. These are quite good powers. This is what the kids say would be a player-facing system.
Right.
again, it doesn't. This doesn't really fit my character. Occupational hazard. You've been through your fair share of industrial accidents.
That would be hilarious if you just had a lot of Saturday jobs. Or,
Yeah.
Oh, just change the text to "You've been through middle school."
so we get one from another archetype.
Yeah, so you'd have to look
Right.
through the other archetypes.
So let's have a look at the interesting sounding ones on page 60.
After this, we're done. There are quips, but we can roll those at the start of that. You're supposed to draw them out of a deck, but that's not going to work, is it? we could do them now, but we might as well just draw them at the start of next session, if you'd rather, depending on how flagging people are.
Oh, Jesus! I mean, for a kid, there's one here that I can never. Honesty is the best policy. No, for the love of God, lie through your teeth.
I thought you were an honest little chap.
I am an honest little chap, but he's basically not that. He's not that naive.
I think that's a trademark, isn't it?
That's a trope.
Oh, okay. I can't see it on the Everyman. Is it one of the others?
Yeah, no, it's honesty is the best policy. Gain enhancements to shifting.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
If you tell the complete truth. Honestly, it was. This is where the tentacle touched me.
Yeah.
So I've gone for.
That's why I was bent over with my trousers down.
Sorry, Shiv.
Yeah.
Let's.
Are we supposed to be locals?
No, you don't have to be. You have to have some reason to be working at a military facility on the base in Hawaii. If you're a local, it's because it's one of the only jobs.
Yeah.
Can I not
Burgess
be...
has got a great reason for being there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought of one for Roger. The kid just looking for
I'm just kind of living there because that's where my house is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm an army brat. And my mom is the base nurse.
Okay, perfect.
Mm.
And Shim, so what did you survive, Shim?
So I hail from scenic Dunsport. Famed, everyone knows, completely swept away by one of those unseasonal storms. That didn't sound like any storm I've ever heard. And I was huddled in the basement for 3 days with the other survivors.
I would suggest you've heard rumours about this base and peculiar things, so maybe you've got a low-level janitorial job there.
I mean, I've got some actual skills to do things, so it's a job. I still need a job. My town was destroyed, and this is America. There's no insurance. So
no. Socialism. Don't talk about socialism in 50s.
Absolutely not.
Are you a commie?
I'm pulling myself up by my bootstraps.
There is no difference, and they still think this way. There is no difference between communism and socialism.
Yes, how far we've come. But yeah, exactly. That'll be it. I mean, that's fairly simple to insert you all in the military base.
The quips are very conveniently on a load of cards that you need to print and cut out.
Well, we could just roll them.
Put it on a...
They are listed by number somewhere, so I thought that would be the
are they? Right,
easiest thing to do. You've got to pick, as far as quips go...
Yeah, I found what the first thing
draw
on
cards
page 51.
Based
you know
on...
what? I am actually going to go honesty is the best policy.
Yeah.
He's a little shit, isn't he?
Yes. I went for, I don't get paid enough for this, which is once for game I can just basically go, nope, that's it, I'm gone, and leave the scene.
Yeah. I almost went for
Where's
that.
Shale?
I almost went for that one, but with the changing the wording to be, oh, I forgot I need to do my homework. And he's just got, he has to go home and do his homework, so he just leaves. So I've got
as
to
far
choose
as quips go... Oh,
sorry, just really with tropes.
Yes.
How many do I need to choose from one of the others? Is
one.
it just one? Just
you
one
should have 3 in total.
Three in total.
And then the crypts and the bloods are the quips.
The quips and the birds.
These are things you've got to. If you say a quip at an appropriate time, you will get basically an extra success either on the roll that you've just done, or you can save them up for a roll later on.
Some of these are very strange.
If you manage to do the same quip and it's still appropriate, again, then you get +2 up to +5, so you can store them up. But it's so it can become your trademark quip, like I'm too old for this shit or whatever.
Some of these are
that's very 50s B movie.
Some of these are much easier to do that with.
Well, except maybe if I feel they're a really hard quip, but you managed to get
I'm just looking at
I
them.
think we'll double your bonus.
The Dying Earth's like that because you get them on little sort of strips of paper that get handed out, and some of them they're quite a challenge.
Yeah.
Now the quips you get, they're all from
Must
different
be
decks.
Friday.
The decks are determined by your archetype. You get
Yeah.
2 from your archetype, and then 1 you can pick from a deck of your choice. You don't get to pick the quip, you just get to pick which deck.
Mm.
And somewhere on one of the...
So, page 51 under final touches tells us which sort of section each quip must come from.
Yes.
So should we then go to you and you've got your list that we roll on rather than everyone jumping back and forth, and you can tell us which one we've rolled?
Yes, somewhere I have a list of them. By number, I think they're in the quips chapter rather than at the back of the book. Yeah, so just tell me what deck you're rolling from.
Well, Scientist draws 1 from Please Enjoy This Great Portent. Is it a percentage or what's
I'm just trying to find the list.
Okay.
The Art of the Quip. Spend your quips wisely.
Hello, kitten.
Definitely got a list of them quipped out in somewhere.
I think a D20 would do it.
I definitely would. Alright, give us a roll. Give us a D20. You might have to roll
19.
again. What deck was this?
And that was on the...
Please enjoy this great portent.
Please enjoy this great portent.
And what did you roll? 19?
19.
Sorry.
That's quite good.
Is
The
it?
last one.
If Shim's there,
Is it just...
Yeah.
Sorry.
just read it out
Yeah.
because I'm.
If I didn't know better, I'd swear we're surrounded by monsters.
It's pithy.
It's much better than some of these. It's time we all snapped our suspenders in unison, for example.
You might not get that. All right, let's have another.
They give you a very small area to write in something that long. And the other one is on the and before you pull that switch
Okay, roll away.
list.
Yeah.
And that's I rolled a 7.
Pardon me, but is this your fin?
Yep. This is page 248 onwards. And then you get to pick a deck of your choice, Burgess.
Is there a list of the decks
Page
easily?
248. They're all at the top of the list of quips.
248. 1, 2, 4, 8.
Quip your gripping. This is the pie I
Equip
signed
your
to
griping.
Jesus.
Well,
When
let's
you
go for...
quip a quip, you discard it and get a new one. Unless you want
right,
to
great.
keep it because you think, I can do that kip again.
Oh God! Right. I'm gonna.
I'll just go for why so glib. Then I'll get one off that.
Alright, let's have it.